ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀਓ। ਜੋ ਸੁਪਨਾ ਅਰ ਪੇਖਨਾ ਐਸੇ ਜਗ ਕੋ ਜਾਨ। ਇਨ ਮੈਂ ਕਛ ਸਾਚੋ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਾਨਕ ਬਿਨ ਭਗਵਾਨ। ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਪਾਵਨ ਪਵਿੱਤਰ ਬਾਣੀ of Salok Mahalla 9ਵਾਂ. So Sangat ji, we've all just heard the 23rd, 24th and 25th Salok of Guru Teg Bahadur ji Paatshah ji. They start off with saying, Jo Supana Ar Pekhana. And what that means is that Supana, translating to dream, Pekhana means to look at. Just like we're watching a dream. Jo Supana Ar Pekhana. Aise jag ko jaan. They said, know this jag, this world to be just like that. Just like watching a dream. In ma kach sacho nahi. Then Maharaj is saying, but within that dream, in that dream, kach sacho nahi. That nothing is actually sach, nothing is actually true, meaning nothing is permanent. So meaning, just like that dream, within this world, nothing is permanent. Nanak bin Bhagavan, other than Guru Teg Bahadur ji Maharaj ji says, other than Bhagavan, Vaheguru ji themselves, God themselves. Jo supana ar pekhna aise jag ko jaan. Guru Sahib ji is saying that just like we watching, but the interesting thing here is the word that Guru Sahib ji's used is pekhna. They've used the word pekhna, but as we all know that when we're actually dreaming, the truth is that something is watching that dream. There's a witness to that dream as well. But whilst the dream is taking place, it doesn't seem as if we're watching the dream. It doesn't seem as if we are witnessing that dream. But instead, what does it seem like? It seems as if that dream is a reality, and it seems as if we are in that dream. So just like we could be watching a movie, we could be watching a film, and we know that we're not the film. We know that we are separate to that film, and we're not actually inside of that film. So we're normally sitting on a sofa watching the TV, and we know that we are separate to that film watching it. So that would be pekhna. But in a dream, even though we are watching it, but we don't know. There are those very few that have reached that level of consciousness that are even able to watch a dream. And what that means is, so there's three avasthas, there's three states. So there's that jagrati, when we're awake. So as we are now, and you're able to listen to this katha because you're awake and you're listening to it, you're attuned to it. I'm awake now and I'm doing this katha. And then there's sopan. Sopan is then that dream. When we're in that dream and we take that dream to be the truth. And then there's sakopat. And then skopat is deep sleep. So when there is no dream. And that is something that we're not aware of at all when we're in that stage. But then there's something called turiya. Turiya isn't a stage. Turiya is something that is constant and that is always there. We normally kind of put down certain mantras and we link them to belong to a certain faith and religion. So we know that our Hindu brothers, that they use the japa of Om. And so the Om is in three parts. There's O, and then M. And that is actually talking about referring to those three states. But after that is practiced and after that is recited, that mantra, there's a slight silence. That slight silence is referring to that turiya. Turiya is that something that is constant and is always there, whether we are awake in Jagrati, whether we are dreaming or whether we're in deep sleep. That is constant, that is always there. And that is who we refer to as the witness, the watcher, the one that is pekhana, the one that is looking at everything. But we don't know it. And we're unconscious to that these are actually all just different stages that I go in and out of. But then that is knowing our soul. When we're constant and we're always there. But what happens is, instead of watching the dream from that place of that turiya avastha, of knowing that that dream isn't true and I'm not actually that, this is the story, this is what happens to all of us. that jo supna ar pekhna aise jag ko jaan. So as silly it is as for him to feel pain in a dream, to think he's lost everything, Guru Sahib Ji is saying to us that it's as silly as that this actual world, this life that you're in now, is a dream too. And when in this dream you gain something and you get overjoyed, just like we went through that sukh dukh jeh parse nahi, but those that are stuck in the sukh dukh, in that pain and happiness of, or more accurately pleasure. And when that king wakes up and he thinks, oh, you know what, it was a dream, but then you're still spooked out and you're freaked out. We have a certain dream and we're spooked out for a whole day, and we'll sit down, we'll talk to people about it. And then we're still thinking, and we're thinking, do you think that's going to actually happen? And we start freaking out thinking maybe it's going to happen now, but it was just a dream. And then we even laugh about it and say, you're so silly, I can't believe. And he's like thinking, I'm so silly, I was so stressed out thinking I lost everything. But Guru Sahib Ji is saying that world is just like that dream. And when you lose something in this life, in this world, but like it is just like that dream, they said it's as silly as crying and suffering and being in pain in a dream. It's silly as that in this life, suffering and being in pain when we lose things, because it's the exact same. Waking up is when we actually leave this life. And like we spoke about in the last video, that reflection isn't the truth, but the ray, what we are, the Atma from the sun, from God, is the truth. And Pach is reminding us, we get attached to somebody's personality. We marry somebody because they have a certain personality in a certain way, but they've not reached Saj. They've not reached that complete stillness. Ther kar bais ho, har jan pyare, Sadgur tumre kaaj savare, when we go to that still place inside. So what happens is, and we get caught up in that dream, and because they've not reached stability anyway, they can have a complete personality change. They can go from being one person to something completely different. Many times we see when people change for the better, the other partner's not able to handle it. And they're like, I married you because I used to chill out and enjoy having a drink with you. And we used to chill out and talk about people, whatever, and, gossip, and we'd have a right laugh. But you've gone all weird now. You don't drink anymore. You don't now gossip anymore. When even somebody changes for the better, but we're attached to that dream and we can't accept that change. So it pains us. But Sadhguruji says, but that was you attached yourself to something that is changeable, that isn't the truth. And the truth is only that Vaheguru that doesn't change. So Pat says, without that stable Vaheguruji is the only thing that is never going to change.